Very good morning, dear student. Welcome to the SUTHAR'S course. Dear student, today we are taking the topic that is the random variable and its probability distribution. We are already familiar with the probability, how we can find the probability, and also we discuss some important topic of the probability. With the help of this, you have get a better idea of the probability. Now, dear student, here one topic, that is the random variable. What is the meaning of the random variable and how we can use the variable in the probability, and according to how we can find the probability distribution of the random variable. And in the statistics we see how we see the variance or mean or their distribution of the data. Same process we see in the case of the probability. So let's see how we can define these terms and locate in the form of probability distribution. So random variable and SPD. PD means probability distribution. So first of all, you see what is the meaning of the random variable. So we are already familiar with the random experiment. The experiment whose result in advance cannot be guessed, that is known as random experiment. And we know that there are different results of an experiment. So always we want to find the probability. It is not important or not interested. Some cases we have to also see the number associated with the experiment. Like suppose we can say when you are tossing a coin 10 times. So what is the number that head comes out, or what is the number in which tail comes out? So we want to also know in some cases that number is important. Like you can say when we are tossing two dice, and we are tossing the two dice, then we want to know how many the cases are there or numbers are there in which the sum appearing on the dice is 10 or 12 or 5 like this. Or also we have to find the number associated with the doublet. So in these experiments one can see how many times of the head appears, how many times 2 head appear, 3 head appear, 10 we can say. So in different type of experiment we see the number. Like one more experiment say of taking out 4 articles at a random from a lot of 20 articles. 6 are defective. We are given a 20 articles, out of 6 are defective, and we are drawing 4 articles. And we want to know how many defective articles are there. So again here associate a number. So we want to find the number. So this is the number associated with the random experiment. Clear? That's why we call this is a random variable, because this represents a real number. Like suppose say we are saying that head come 2 times, head come 3 times, head come 0 times, or if we are getting some difference is there, then minus is also possible. So we have a real number associated with the random experiment. That's why this is known as random variables. Clear? Now also see, as you have seen in the previous chapter or units, in which we see the function. So what is the meaning of the function? We already know there is a domain and codomain, and there is relationship between the domain and codomain. So for random variable we have also called as it is a function, because whose domain is the sample space of the experiment. यहाँ पर डोमेन आपका क्या हो जाएगा, सैंपल स्पेस जो है वही आपका डोमेन है, उसमें से क्या क्या नंबर आते हैं वो, और उसको हम लोग जो जैसा अपनी रिक्वायरमेंट है अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट वी टेक आउटपुट, दैट इज द रेंज. सो हियर डेफिनेशन से अ रैंडम वेरिएबल इज ए रियल वैल्यूड फंक्शन. यू मे राइट डेफिनेशन फॉर रैंडम वेरिएबल. सो रैंडम variable is a real valued function means whose value is real or domain, so codomain or range is a real value. So real valued function whose domain is the sample space of the experiment is the sample space of a random experiment. So this is the definition for random variable. We can see definition for the random variable. Clear? Now we take some example with the help that you can understand. Suppose we are taking two coins and we are tossing that sample space outcome may be both are head and tail and head, and both are tail. Clear? So different outputs are there when we are tossing two coins, and suppose x denotes the number of head of. So we want to find number of head appears. So our interest to find out how many head appear in each case. So we take capital X denotes the number of head obtained. Then X is a random variable. तो हमारा यहाँ random variable क्या हो गया? X is a random variable. X को हमने नाम दे दिया है random variable because we want to know how many head appear in each time. So first time x की वैल्यू क्या आएगी? How many head? 2. Second time head, third time head, and fourth time head. So these all are 0, 1, 2 are real numbers. That's why we can say random variable is a real number. Similarly, if you want to know y, that is the number of tail. So here number of tail 0, number of tail 1, number of tail 1, number of tail 2. So you want what? According to that, we have to find a random variable. And suppose that y be the number of head and or difference of the head and tail. So denote the number of head minus number of tail. Head y may be the number of head minus number of tail. So you may write it this way also. So we want to know the how many number of head. So both are head minus tail 0. Head 1, tail 1. Tail, number of tail 1, head, so that is also 0. And number of head minus 0 minus 2. So in this way you can say the y is also a real number. What is y? Number of head minus number of tail. Head, दो हेड है टेल है ही 2 minus 0 2. एक हेड है और एक टेल है, तो एक हेड माइनस एक टेल, 1 minus 1 0. यहाँ पर भी एक हेड है और एक टेल है, तो हेड माइनस टेल 0. यहाँ दोनों ही टेल है, तो हेड की जगह 0 हो गया, 0 minus 2 minus. So again minus 2, 0 and 2. These are the real. So that's why we call the random variable is a real number. Now one example is given. So we may write example 22. Application of this random variable. How we can identify or how we can find the random variable for a particular example. So write down example 22nd. A person plays a number of tossing coin 3 times. Example 22. A person is play a game of tossing a coin thrice, means 3 times. Person is tossing coin 3 times. For each head he, now condition for each head is getting 1 head, then he is given by, he is given 2 rupees by the organizer, 2 rupees by the organizer of the game. If he is getting the 1 head or each head, he is given 2 rupees by the organizer of the game for each head and for each tail, and for each tail. Means if you are getting 10, then he has to give. He has to give 1.50 rupees to the organizer of the game. This is condition. If he is getting the tail, then he has to submit 1.50 to the organizer. Let X denote the number of, capital X denotes number of amount gained or lost, number of amount gain or loss, both may be there by the person. So that X is a random variable, then what says you have to show that X is random variable. You have to show that X is a random variable exhibit it is a function on the sample. It is a function. Means you have to also show this is a function. Clear? Exhibit it as a function on the sample space. Clear? So now see here X is the number of values defined on the outcome of the random experiment. Why X is a random variable? Because X denotes the number of amount he gain or lost, which is depend on the output of the random variable or random experiment. Clear? So what is the experiment? Is tossing coin 3 times. So cases may be there: triple H stage, or TSH, or HTT, TST, or TKH, or TTT. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cases are there in the game. So possibilities in the game are 8: triple S, double S, and double T and TKT. Here X is a random variable. X is a number whose values are defined on the outcome of random. Because the value of X depend on outputs of the random experiment. So amount he gain or loss, that depend on the experiment's output. That's why X is a random variable. Clear? Why we call X as a random variable? Because it depend on the output of the random experiment. Clear? Now we have to find the amount in each case. That is like you can say in first case triple S. There is only one triple S. Means what is the amount he either gain or lost. Clear? Triple X. Now you can see the condition say for each head he is given 2 rupees by the organizer. अगर एक हेड आता है तो उसको 2 रुपए मिलते हैं. अब यहाँ तो 3 आ गए, सो रुपीज 2 into 3, so he get rupees 6. It means gain is there. Similarly, in other cases like double H, FT, case is same, that is FT or HTH or TH. In all these cases, there are 2 head and 1 coin. That's why all have equal values. So what we get? Here 2 head, it means 2 into 2 gain, but 1 tail is also there. So he has to submit rupees 1.5. So 4 minus 1.5, that is rupees 2.52. Right? Similarly, when 1 head and 2 tail are there. So these are also 3 cases. So rupees 2 for 1 head and loss of 2 into 1.5. यहाँ पर इसको एक हेड मिला और 2 टेल आ रहे, तो एक हेड मिला 2 रुपए उसको ऑर्गेनाइजर दे रहा है, लेकिन 3 रुपए वापस दे देगा. सो इट विल बी -1. सो ये -1 रुपीज. It means minus indicate the loss. So in these cases, for each one there is a loss of 1 rupees. मतलब उसको 1 रुपए सबमिट करना. So here third case, when all tail are there. So we can say in this case 3 cases are there, and for each one there is a loss of 1.5. Clear? So what we get minus multiply, that is 4.50. So x can take values here. We will write x can take value. So x की क्या क्या वैल्यू आ सकती है? 6, 2.50, -1 or -4.5. So these all are real. That's why this is function. Means if you put x equal to triple H, we get 6. X equal to HSK, we get 2.50. X equal to STK, then -1 and so on. So we can say this will be a function. So hence x is a function. Why? For each element of the sample space, x takes a unique value. हर एक की एक यूनिक वैल्यू. ऐसा नहीं 2 है, जैसे आपने ट्रिपल एच दे दिया, इसकी वैल्यू 2 या इसकी इमेज एक ही है, दैट इज 6. HST की भी एक है 2 पॉइंट, STST की 2 पॉइंट. कॉमन इमेज है इन दोनों की, इन तीनों की कॉमन इमेज है, लेकिन इनकी 2 नहीं है. सो दैट इज द फंक्शन. फंक्शन का क्या? ईच एलिमेंट ऑफ द डोमेन हैव देयर यूनिक इमेज. हर एक की अपनी एक यूनिक इमेज है, एक से ज्यादा इमेज इनकी नहीं. दैट्स व्हाई दिस इज ए फंक्शन, राइट? सो वी कैन से रैंडम वेरिएबल विल बी फंक्शन. Similarly, one more example is there that we have to discuss. That example you write down. 23rd, a bag contains 2 white and 1 a bag two white and 1 red. balls. One ball is drawn at random. One ball is drawn at random and put back in the box. And put back in the box. Then put back in the box after noting its color. After noting its color. So see the color and then we have to put again in the box. Then say the process is repeat again. Again we repeat this. The process is repeat again. So again process is repeated. If x denotes the number of red ball recorded in the two draw. Recorded in two draws. Describe x. Then you have to find the x. Describe x. So we have to write the x. What is the x? So it is very easy. So now we are given what in solution? Here we are given two white balls, let W1 and W2, and one red ball, let R. These are given. So what we are given? W1, W2 and R. These three balls are given in the box. Then the sample space will be sample space. Now else. So what condition says one ball is drawn at random. इसमें से आपको एक बॉल निकालनी है बिना देखे कलर और उसका कलर देखना है, कलर नोट करना है और उसको वापस डालना है. फिर सेकेंड टाइम बॉल ड्रॉ करनी है, उसका कलर चेक करना है, नोट डाउन करना है और उसके बाद उसको वापस डालना. दो बॉल निकालनी. तो हम लोग क्या करते हैं, जैसे हमने फर्स्ट बॉल ड्रॉ की तो वो आपका W1 आ गया, यानी फर्स्ट व्हाइट बॉल आ गई है और हमने उसको वापस डाल दिया. अब सेकंड ड्रॉ किया तो पता चला वापस भी आ गई, या आपने फर्स्ट बॉल ड्रॉ किया W1 वापस डाला वो नहीं आई, दूसरी वाली व्हाइट आ गई, या फर्स्ट W1 थी वापस डाला दूसरी बॉल निकाली तो रेड आ गई. तो ये W1 के साथ है. ऐसे W2 के साथ होगा. सपोज फर्स्ट ड्रॉ में भी W2, अगेन what we draw W1, W2 again what we get second, again same ball, or W2 if you are putting then we are getting R. तो ये इस तरह से आपके केस आ गए. और इन फर्स्ट ड्रॉ सपोज रेड बॉल वी आर गेटिंग, पुट again draw we are getting the second time also red ball, so R. So these are the total possible outcomes. Clear? Now question say x is the number of red ball. What is the x? Here x is the number of red ball. तो हर एक केस में कितनी रेड बॉल आ रही है वो आपको देखना है. तो रैंडम वेरिएबल तो फर्स्ट केस में x W1 0 होगा क्यों रेड बॉल है ही नहीं. सेकेंड में भी 0 होगा और इसमें भी 0 होगा और इसमें भी 0 होगा W2 में, तो इन सभी केस में रेड बोल नहीं है, दैट्स व्हाई वैल्यू ऑफ x विल बी 0. अब 1 किसमें होगा, x W1R A ग्रेड है, x W2R A ग्रेड, और लास्ट केस में 2 है रेड बोल. So in this way we can find the random variable x. Now we see the value of x can take here, we can write x can take value. x की वैल्यू क्या हो सकती है, 0 1 2. Now we see the probability distribution of random variable. So how we can define and how we find the probability distribution of the random variable. Like in this example, you can also see probability distribution, or we may take other example. Look at the experiment of the selecting one family out of 10 families. Suppose we are given the 10 families like F1, F2, F3, F4, F5, F6, F7, F8, F9 and F. This is the family. Which one family, type of the families are given. Now also we say each have equally likely to be selected. Out of these 10 families, each is selecting is equal. Means probability of selection of each one is equal to 1/10. हर एक को इक्वल चांस है सेलेक्ट करने का. सो प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ सेलेक्टिंग ईच फैमिली इज 1/10. राइट. नाउ व्हाट सेज लेट द फैमिलीज हैव मेंबर. हियर दिस इज द फैमिली एंड मेंबर. हाउ मेनी मेंबर्स आर देयर इन फर्स्ट फैमिली, दैट इज 3 4 3 3 4 3 2 5 4 3 6 4 5 3 6 4 5. This is the number of members in the family. Now let us select a family and note down the number of members in the family. Here denoting x. X denotes number of members in the family. So what is x? X represents the number of members in the family. So dear students, see how we can find this one, value of x. So see here, suppose for first family x f1, that is 3. X of f1 means members of family is 3. X f2, that is 4. X f3, that is 3. X f4, 2 member. X f5, that is 5. X f6, 4 member. X f7, 3 member. X f8, 6. And X f9, that is again 4. And X f10. So that is 5. So in this way we can write the number of members in the family. So x can take values. X can take values. तो x की क्या क्या वैल्यू आ रही है? 3 आ रही है, 4 5 6 2. x have minimum value है 2, then 3 4 5 and 6. So x is a random variable. Clear? So x is 4 or x is 2. X can take value 2 when we are selecting family 1, that is f4. So 2 when F4 is selected. You may write in this one. X can take values 3 when X की value 3 कब होगी? When 2 family or 3 family F1, F3, F7. So F1, F3, F7 is selected. If we are selecting F1, F3, F7, then X can take 3 values. Similarly, X can take values 4. Now when 4X, only again 3 gate, F2, second family, F6 and F9 is selected. When you are selecting these family, value of X will be 4. Then X can take values 5. When family only 2, F5 or F10. F5 and F10 is selected. Then X can take values as 6. Now 6 is only one, that is F8. So dear student, we get a very interesting data or observation. So that can be analysis as in the case of the stats we see. So since we assume that each family is equally likely to be selected, that is already given, each have equal chance of selecting. So the probability of that X can take values 2. So what is the probability that X can take values 2? That is F4 is selected. Only one F4 is selected. So for one family, the probability is 1. It means probability of, here we will write for 2, X equal to 2 is 1 by 10. This is very important. Px equal to 2 equal to 1. Probability of selecting X as a 2 or value of X will be 2. What is the probability? That is 1 by 2. Because when X equal to 2, we have to select only one family. Means in one family there are 2 children. So selecting that family, 1 by 2. Similarly, probability of X equal to 3. Now when we are taking X equal to 3, then the probability of this will be, there are 3 families. Those have 3 members. So F1, F3, F7. So what is the probability? Each one is 1 by 10, 1 by 10, 1 by 10. So what is the probability of getting 3? That is 3 by 10. Similarly, probability of X equal to 4. So when X equal to 4, again 3 families. So 1 by 10, 1 by 10, 1 by 10. So probability of this will be also 3 by 10. And X equal to 5. So when X equal to 5, only 2 families, F5 and F10. So 1 by 2, 1 by 2, 2 by 10. And last X equal to 6. So that is again one family. So dear student, we get the probabilities of selecting or taking the values of X as 2. What is the probability that X can take values 2? That is 1 by 10. What is the probability that X can take value 3? That is 3 by 10. Similarly 4, 3 by 10 and so now we can say such a description give the values of random experiment, random variable along with their corresponding probabilities. So what we see, a beautiful table you can draw. Here value of X, that is random variable, and corresponding probabilities. We may draw table like this. Value of X and corresponding value of P. So when x equal to 2, corresponding probability 1 by 10. X equal to 3, corresponding probability 3 by 10. X equal to 4, 3 by 10. X equal to 5, 2 by 10. X equal to 6, 1 by 10. So this is known as probability distribution. If we are writing the table or writing the description of the variable with their corresponding probabilities. So in general we called what? Such a description giving the values of the random variable along with the corresponding probabilities is called the probability distribution of the random variable x. So in general you can say, if we write this general as capital X as the random variable and corresponding probability px. So random variable x can be represented by the small values like x1 first observation, second, third for x1. Then corresponding probabilities, suppose P1, P2, P3 up to Pn. So this type of distribution is known as probability distribution, PD. So dear student, it is very clear what is the meaning of the probability distribution. When we are writing the random variable with corresponding probabilities in a tabular form, that is known as probability distribution. What is the probability of getting 2 members in a family? 3 1 by 10. What is the probability of getting 3 members in a family? 3 by 10. What is the probability of getting 4 members? And so on. So such type of description is known as probability distribution. Clear? If xi is one of the possible value of random variable, then the statement x equal to xi is true only at some point of the, hence the probability xi is always non-zero. So this is probability will be always non-zero, right? So for all possible value of random variable x, all element of the sample space are covered. Now here you can say very important and interesting point we see. As in the previous class, dear student, you have seen the frequency distribution. Frequency distribution you have already seen. That the data xi and corresponding fi is given. Xi is 1, then corresponding frequency either 2 or 23, 32 like this. In the case of the statistics, we see here the data and corresponding frequency. So we are calling at that frequency distribution. Here we got the probability distribution. Same is there because here x again we are using here. Here probability, here is frequency. Now here very important topic we take in the this data analysis, that we have to find the mean variance of the frequency distribution. So that also very important we have to find in the case of the probability. But this is easier than this one. Why? Because you can see some of the frequencies may be different or have large value. But when we move for the sum of this probability, you add this 1 by 10 plus 3 by 10 plus 3 by 10 plus 2 by 10 plus 1 by 10. That is 10 by 10, which is 1. Very interesting. So always sum of the probabilities of an experiment is equal to 1. That is very interesting. So sum of probability for any particular experiment is always 1. किसी भी एक्सपेरिमेंट में सम ऑफ प्रोबेबिलिटी हमेशा 1, लेकिन फ्रीक्वेंसी में नंबर बड़ा आता है इसलिए मीन निकालने में मुश्किल होती थी. एंड other calculation also we see. Correct? So dear student, in later cases we see how to find the mean. Now as you see in the compare of the frequency distribution, how to find the mean, same method we have. Like here you can see, if you want to find the mean of this data, you have to multiply xi into fi. Here also we have to multiply xi into pi. So what is the mean of the frequency distribution? Summation of fi into xi divided by, here mean equal to summation of xi into fi upon sum of fi. So here mean of the probability distribution is same, summation of xi into pi upon summation of pi, but summation of pi is always 1. So there is no need to write pi. तो आपको pi लिखने की भी जरूरत नहीं है, डायरेक्ट we have to see xi into pi. xi into pi 2 into 1 by 10, 3 into 3 by 10, 4 into 3 by 10, 5 into 2 by 10, 6, and you get the result. So dear student, in later section you see the mean and variance of random experiment. That is very interesting and very easy also. So in next class we discuss about this, and some example also we see how we can find the probability distribution. Correct? So write down this. So dear student, this is all about today's class. To be continued with us for more topic in next video, dear student, and very important, you see how to find the mean variance of the probability distribution.